Hello, good morning. Good Friday morning. Man, it's this weather is phenomenal. I don't want to stop walking. Uh I tell you, springtime and fall time, that those mid 70s are just man, it's a good place to be in Kentucky, especially when the humidity's low. So, hey, good morning guys and gals. Uh so a couple things came in, and maybe maybe I'll hit on both. We'll see. I don't want to go too long. I know that's not enjoyable. Uh, so, how do I know if I'm a bad leader? Right? That was a question that came in. And I'll tell you, in my experience so far, um, the fact that somebody asked that question probably tells me they're not a bad leader. Right? It tells me that they're probably not a bad leader. Because in order to ask a question like that, right? And wording is everything. How we frame questions both to ourselves and internally and externally, says a lot about our thinking, right? How we're thinking about things. And so, how do I know if I'm a bad leader? So, in that statement alone, there's ownership, right? There's ownership in the statement alone or in the question alone. How do I know if I'm a bad leader? It wasn't, um, how do I let my leader know they're a poor leader, right? Or some rendition of that question. It was about how do I know if I'm a bad leader, right? And so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of depth I could go to in this. I think in this statement, in this question, there's a lot of different ways I'm going to answer it. But I think I tend to go with my heart a lot, right? Because in the head, it's easy to overthink things, right? It's really easy to overthink things. Um, and so in my heart, I think that there's a couple things, right? Um, there's always the metrics, right? There's always the metrics when it comes to leadership. And what I mean by that is there's qualitative and quantitative metrics about what you're responsible for, right, as a leader. And so that's in the managing portion, right? The transactional nature of the work, the quantitative data around the work itself, right? Um, and then there's the qualitative data, things like engagement and performance and satisfaction and all of those things. And we can get like super geeked out on that, right? Like I can get super geeked out on those metrics. But really, especially for most of the folks that I like working with and that I think are probably the folks that are here, are in those smaller companies, right? 50 and under, 30 and under, somewhere in that neighborhood. I love the specialists, right? Like those are just my people, right? Those are my people. Um, but in that, right? In that, um, stand back and take a look, right? Step back and take a look. That frequently, the objective view is the best, right? And here's what I mean by that. Good morning, Matt. Here's what I mean by that. The objective view is the best. If um, if I wasn't the leader, right? If thank you, brother. If I wasn't the leader of this team, right? How would I measure this team? How would I measure the performance of this team, both quantitatively and qualitatively? Um, what are the things that I would look for? What are the conversations that I would want to hear, right? What are the decisions that I would like to be able to watch being made? How are they being made? How effective is the communication? Like when it comes to leading, I think one of the, everybody's been to a gajillion workshops, right? I'm just not a huge fan. I love deep work because I think that great leaders start at the individual level, right? That when you can take ownership for the things that you're responsible for and the people that you're responsible for, then it's a great thing, right? And it's organic. It's in you. It's who you become, and then you get to take that anywhere, right? Then you are the asset, and that's really what we try to build, right? So but when you think about all of the things, when you say, well, what's the quality of a leader? Well, there's 9 gabillion books out there. I'm not sure that gabillion's a number, but it should be. And in that, they talk about qualities of leaders, and one of the qualities that always comes up is a great communicator. So when you're thinking about your ability to lead, right, your ability to inspire, your ability to make things happen on that team, how would you rate and judge your communication with your team? And it's easy to think, look, these guys are communicating. These guys are communicating. The dog's barking there. How would you communicate your effectiveness? How would you measure your effectiveness around communication? And that's hard to do when you're in it. But look across at when you're having conversations, when you're setting expectations, what's getting through. You know that here's another fun fact for you, that the average adult needs to hear something 7 times. 7 times, right? That's crazy. Um, but it's also, it's also something to consider when you think about, well, why aren't things getting across, right? Um, but as a leader, thinking about, am I setting clear expectations, right? These are like the two fundamental things to maybe take a look at. Am I setting clear expectations? And if you believe you are, how do you know that? Right? Ask yourself better. Most answers are found in better questions. So ask yourself, right? Ask yourself, am I setting clear expectations? Does my team know what's expected of them, right? Um, and here's the thing, guys. Like one of the biggest opportunities, and I've got some resources on this, and I've done some work with, and I love it, is onboarding. We missed the boat, right? Organizationally, I would say that I'd just make the statement, all organizations can do a better job at onboarding people, right? If you're not doing that effectively, then it's costing you millions of dollars annually. Millions of dollars annually. I know that it costs the industry billions of dollars annually. Um, so, is your team clear on what's expected of them, right? Is it really clear on what you all are driving for? What are the metrics that you're trying to accomplish together as a team, right? And then, secondly, do the individuals know what their individual contribution to that is, right? That's that, casting vision it can get so bent out of shape and so big and so large, and that's great. Like, it's inspiring for like 2 weeks, right? Because what happens is it's really not clear, where do I fit into that, right? It's not clear to the people, right? It's not clear to the people, where do they fit in? Where's the value that they bring? What does their individual contribution look like? And as leaders, we're responsible for that, right? Um, the other thing that came in was about my team are not my children. I'm not responsible for them. And maybe I'll save that for tomorrow, right? Maybe I'll save that one for tomorrow. I don't want to get too long, um, but I have you really consider that question, right? Have you really consider the question about what do you expect? What do you expect from your kids, right? What are your responsibilities as it relates to your children? And then take a look at maybe what your responsibilities are as it relates to the team. I bet you'll find some overlap. So we'll jump into that tomorrow morning. I'm grateful for your all's time. I hope that you all have a fantastic Friday. Close this week out strong. Focus on the things that matter and move the needle long term, not just short term. And love on your people. Love on your people. I tell you, it's amazing how we always want to go to the extremes, right? Um, we always want to go to the extremes. Generally when we know that we haven't done things effectively. But here's the thing, a Post-it note and a Sharpie go a long way in showing a little bit of gratitude to your people. And I mean it. And it changes your heart because it makes you focus on the things you're grateful for and the people that you get to serve, the people that are under your care and protection. Pick up a dang Post-it note. Pick up a Sharpie. Tell them why you care. Tell them why they matter. Tell them where they fit, right? Tell them what you value in them. Tell them what you see in them, the strengths that you see in them, the power that you see in them. A Post-it note, a damn Sharpie, and heaven forbid, a $5 gift card to Starbucks. That'll get you a long way, folks. Love you. Make today a good one.